Hi, welcome back to the channel and this video. In this one, it's another viewer's request, and credit to Atari for noticing it. Now, they themselves have noticed other things in the past, so they've got good vision and they can see stuff others can't. Now, in relation to it, it's not from Kenny's video, it's not from Linebearer's Sean's video, it's actually from Really Robin's. Now, as we know, Really Robin, when he did his hike, he wasn't in the exact same location as Sean or Kenny when they were walking past that covered up cave, as well as where the keyhole was. Really Robin, I think, was down a different canyon somewhere else. I don't know the exact location or coordinates, but I know he was somewhere else. So basically, what Atari noticed was when Really Robin was walking through a canyon, she noticed some kind of weird symbol, weird like structure of a rock, like a marker or a sign of something. What I'll do now is I'll just show you the video of when it appears, and then we'll have a closer look at it.
In between like a small canyon right now, but it's not really a canyon. I think it's, what's this? Nothing. Dead end. Continuing search.
Alright, so before I get into the screenshot and zoom in on it, one thing I just want to add is, as he's walking through that canyon, he does pan the camera around onto like a wall of rocks, which is a slightly light dust colour, with like certain indentations and the odd bits sticking out. I just want to bring that up, as that type of rock, the colour of it at least, is similar to the rock which is ahead, which seems to have the weird pattern or symbol on. Could it be something, or is it just simply that, like a piece of the wall of the rock, what you see? But nevertheless, we'll get into the up close screenshot and I'll give you my thoughts. Right, so this is a still screenshot from Really Robin's video. One thing I want to add is the actual video quality, which was recorded by Really Robin, was done really well. The quality of it is so much better, the clarity is there, it's so much easier to see the detail when you're watching it as a viewer, unlike Kenny's video or some of Sean's older hike videos. That's just simply down to technology and what one had at the time. It's not the user's fault, but I just wanted to make it clear that looking at more recent footage with more upgraded technology makes it so much easier to detect things and pick up on stuff quicker. Whereas back in the past, like with Sean's video, like the keyhole, there was conflict there because of the quality, the blurriness and the lack of autofocus, which ended up being blurry and missing the alignment of the cobweb bin and the build-up of particles, dust, vegetation and bits of rock. So yeah, linking back to the main point of this video, the screenshot of where the rock shows up when Really Robin is walking through this canyon does stand out in terms of colour. If we zoom in on it now, it'll become clearer. So as you can see, the colouring of the rock is different than colouring of the other rocks, most of them that are around. If we look at this big chunk on the right, that's pretty much grey, dark grey rock. But in contrast, this smaller rock is a light, dusty looking colour rock, brown, light brown, almost like dust has covered it. But that's not the main thing, the main focus. I'm going to show you a slightly more zoomed in screenshot to explain my point. So if we look here, it looks as if there is at least two symbols, one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side. If we look at the one here, it looks as if it's like a square box symbol with a slight little flick in the top left of the corner of the square. And then on this side, it almost looks like a V shape. Now, I don't know if that's just simply a crack and a hole in the rock, or it might actually be etched in, but it looks quite deep. This one here, equally, kind of looks like it's been scraped inwards. You know, it's not completely see-through, but it looks like there's an indentation, like someone was carving some kind of symbol in it. You know, you've seen it with trees, where people have maybe carved their name out. People have done it with certain rock, is it limestone maybe, where they can etch something in with a knife or some kind of tool, leave their mark, leave a symbol. Maybe the same's happened here. Don't know what specific rock it is, but you never know. It does look to be of a symbol, and it does stand out even from a distance. And then it's this bit here. Oh my god, that looks like an eye. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. I don't want to go there again. But it does look a bit weird. Now, with these symbols, just to go a little bit further with possible explanation, Atari noticed this symbol and she started looking into it, see if there's like a meaning for it. I'll show you on screen right now what she found. After spending some time researching online, she came across the Hebrew alphabet, in which certain symbols from different periods of time translated to certain letters, pronunciations, the values and the meanings behind them, as shown up here. Now, towards the bottom, in terms of similarity, this is what was found. That square shaped with a little flick in the top corner of it, left hand side, translates to mem, and that means the letter M. So that square shaped symbol, supposedly a symbol on the rock in Really Robin's hike video, means the letter M, as in possibly the M cave. So here's a closer look as a comparison. On the left hand side you've got the grid of the symbol, and then here you've basically got the symbol which is present in Really Robin's video. All I did was slightly change the brightness to make it clearer. So if we compare it, it does look pretty similar. Both are shaped like a square, slightly rounded at the corners, and then on the left hand side you've got like a flick coming off, and that's present in both pictures. So could it possibly be that that strange square looking thing on the side of the rock was a symbol in Hebrew which translated to the letter M? Could it possibly be a sign, a beacon, a checkpoint, a hint going in the correct direction? Who knows? But one thing for sure, at least, they do look pretty similar. So getting back to the original screenshot, could it possibly be a symbol which was created by someone? The question is, why did they do it? Who was it and when was it done? You know, just like with certain rocks, I think limestone and even trees, you see people etching in, carving out a symbol, a smiley face, or an initial of their name. So maybe the same happened here. The question is, why? What was the need to do it? And who could it possibly be? Was it done recently? Was it done kind of in the past by another hiker as some kind of checkpoint, some kind of marker, some kind of hint? I know some people could go off on theories and say maybe it was Kenny leaving behind a hint to get people to follow in the correct direction in looking for the true M cave. Or could it simply be by some kind of Native American that created and etched in that symbol in the past? Maybe as a warning, maybe as some kind of other deeper meaning. Who knows? The reason why I say there's a possibility that someone at some point in time left a symbol like that on the rock, and why it could possibly be Native American, maybe. It's just down to the fact of other things have happened in that area in the past. Things have been left as they were. And a good example is this, what I'm about to show you. Now, remember this screenshot which I shared with you in a previous video? If not, make sure to watch it to understand. But basically, this was seen on Google Earth, looking down aerial view of the desert in some area near Picture Canyon, and basically looking down it looked to be of an M shape, which was a bit coincidental. But from certain people's observation and understanding of the area, people came to the conclusion it was some kind of Native American fire pit, and that's what it basically was. Now, the reason why I use this example is because if this was a fire pit and used by previous people in the past, then there is also a chance that because that area had some form of life, that maybe those people who were present may have carved in and left the odd symbol and marking as some kind of meaning, or kind of deterring people away. Just like how certain people leave skulls in certain areas. So it's one thing to take into mind. And I guess this example on screen right now is kind of more reinforcing evidence to prove that maybe other people have been around and present, and that it is actually a symbol and not a coincidence. Moving on further. So one thing, personal opinion, I wanted to bring up, aside from the strange symbol, is it looks to be some kind of opening just behind it. If I just draw on it, I know some people will complain, but then again, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. People will always have something to talk about. But from the looks of it, you've got the roof in here, this rock. You've got this rock here, in which this one is laying on top of this one here. As well, you do have a rock there, in which this one again is resting on top of that one. We just declutter it. So from the looks of it, there seems to be an opening somewhere in the middle of here, because you can tell it's dark, kind of like a shade. Whether it's an entrance into some kind of small cave, or it's some kind of den, who knows. But if we look a bit closer, you see what I mean? There's like some kind of gap, hole into somewhere, into something. And it looks like the slab of rock on top is bouncing on top of these two rocks below. Now, I don't know if that symbol links to some kind of acknowledgement to that inner den, inner cave. But do you understand what I mean? Oh, fuck. I've got blood coming out from my nose now. How did I do that? Fuck me. Anyway, from the looks of it, it does look like some kind of den and an opening into something. I'm not saying it's the M cave before people start, overreacting. And if that symbol is a symbol and it does translate to the letter M, I don't feel it's in reference to this exact spot. I feel it could well be a marker or some kind of symbol acknowledging you go in this direction, possibly. Let's just use the filter just to see if we find anything. That doesn't really do much. Contrast, kind of draw it out a bit. Let's use the main filters. Sorry about the tapping, not much you can do. Cartoon, too dark. But you can definitely see some kind of shading, like it goes into darkness, into some kind of shallow den, some kind of cave. Maybe it's where animals go. Zoom in a bit. Whatever it is though, I don't know what that weird shape thing is. I don't think it's an eye, definitely not. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in because it kind of looked like some kind of gap going into something, whatever. And last but not least, I just wanted to do a quick, overall surveillance look at the surrounding environment. As I said, the quality image is so much better and clearer. There's so much stuff you could probably look at. So you've got ground level here, and it goes on into the mountains, the hills. One thing that does stand out, just to point, is that little hole. Probably just a small little den. Got a few odd holes and whatever. These are on the side of the rocks, so it's obviously near impossible to get to. You'd have to use some kind of climbing equipment. And then the only other one which stood out because of the size of it was this one. This hole up here. Now once again, difficult to get to. Most likely some kind of animal den or some kind of den for an animal because it's higher up. They'll probably climb up there and take shelter. But still, stands out from the surrounding environment. And also why I am scanning the area. Maybe you can see something I can't. Who knows? We all see things different. We'll pick up on different stuff. Back to ground level. I don't see any skulls or anything weird. Then back to the weird rock. So I think that's about it, to be honest. And I think that just goes on into wherever. Okay, I think that's about it. Just wanted to do it just in case something showed up. Some kind of like Y shape there. And finally, just to round everything off, one quick filter. Why not? Cartoon. That one's terrible. Yeah, that's about it. Kind of makes it sharper in a way. And finally, there you go. That's the strange symbol on the rock. So, at the end of the day, if I had to give my final opinion, I would say if it is a symbol, it definitely looks like the one on that Hebrew translation, which would mean it is a letter M. The question is, why would it be there? And who would have left it? Ultimately, though, do I feel it's a carving in a rock? Personally, I feel there is a chance. It wouldn't surprise me. You can chisel away at rock. You can create some kind of mark. It's not that difficult. So maybe someone did do it. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing too hard to believe. It makes sense. And, it just makes sense. That's all I can say. It's just weird how it's there. And it's kind of weird how Robin doesn't really mention anything, doesn't pick up on it. I don't know if Sean, I don't know if Jeff, I don't know if Kenny, whoever, wherever, has been in this location and seen that one rock. I guess we won't know for now. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Tried my best, did what I could. That's it for now. Goodbye.